Admiral Zexathara's mandibles clicked in satisfaction as her fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. 300 vessels strong, each one a testament to the hegemony's technological supremacy. The flagship's sensors immediately locked onto the third planet, Earth, home to the upstart species that had dared to reject their ultimatum. "Communications officer," she hissed, her voice carrying the authority of countless conquered worlds. "Open a channel to the human homeworld." The holographic display flickered to life, showing the blue-green marble that harbored humanity's 7 billion souls. Such a small, insignificant world to cause the hegemony such inconvenience. "People of Earth," Zexathara began, her translation matrix converting her words into dozens of human languages simultaneously. "You have 48 of your hours to surrender unconditionally. Your silence to our previous communications has been noted and forgiven. This is your final opportunity to avoid annihilation." The message beamed across space at light speed, carrying with it the weight of an empire that had subjugated 47 star systems. Zexathara settled back into her command throne, expecting the usual pattern: panic, desperate negotiations, eventual capitulation. Hours passed, then days. Silence. "Admiral," her communications officer reported with growing unease. "They haven't responded to any frequency. Radio quantum subspace, nothing." Zexathara's secondary eyes narrowed. In her 3 centuries of conquest, no species had ever simply ignored the hegemony. Fear, rage, desperate bargaining, these were normal responses. But silence? This was unprecedented. Perhaps their primitive technology cannot— "No, Admiral," interrupted the sensor operator. "We're detecting massive energy signatures across their planet. Industrial output has increased by 300%. They're building something." The Admiral's mandibles clicked nervously. "Show me." The main display shifted to show thermal imaging of Earth's surface. Massive construction projects dotted every continent. Factories worked around the clock, belching smoke and energy signatures. Cities that had gone dark now blazed with activity. "What are they constructing?" she demanded. "Unknown, Admiral. The signatures are unlike anything in our databases." Captain Vexmore, her tactical advisor, approached the command throne. "Admiral, perhaps we should begin bombardment." "This behavior is—" "Wait!" Zexathara commanded, studying the display. Something about the human's response bothered her. The complete lack of communication wasn't fear. It was preparation. "Continue monitoring." 3 more days passed. Earth's energy output continued climbing. Then on the 6th day since the ultimatum, something changed. "Admiral," the sensor operator's voice cracked with alarm. "Multiple launch signatures from Earth." The display erupted with thousands of red dots lifting from the planet's surface. Not the panicked evacuation ships they expected, but something else entirely. "Missiles?" Captain Vexmore suggested. "No," the operator whispered. "Ships. Thousands of them." Zexathara watched in growing disbelief as humanity's response finally became clear. They hadn't been paralyzed by fear. They'd been weaponizing their entire civilization. The human fleet wasn't sleek or elegant like hegemony vessels. These ships were ugly industrial things. Converted cargo haulers, mining vessels, even passenger liners bristling with crude but massive weapons. Nuclear pulse drives pushed them forward with brute force rather than finesse. Electromagnetic railguns jutted from their hulls like spines. Missile pods covered every available surface. "How many?" Zexathara asked, though she dreaded the answer. 7. No, 8,000 vessels and climbing, came the reply. "Admiral, they've turned their entire merchant marine into a war fleet." A new voice crackled across the communication channels, not the polished diplomatic speech the hegemony expected, but something far more unsettling. A human voice, calm and matter-of-fact. "Unknown vessels, this is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. You have entered our system uninvited and issued threats against our people. You have been judged a hostile force. Surrender immediately or be destroyed." Zexathara's mandibles clicked in outrage. "They dare demand our surrender?" But even as she spoke, the tactical display showed the grim reality. The human fleet outnumbered them 26-1. And they weren't stopping. More ships continued launching from Earth, while others emerged from hiding positions behind asteroids and moons. "Their weapons are primitive," Captain Vexmore observed, "but Admiral, There are so many of them. The human fleet began moving, not with the careful formations of professional military forces, but with the inexorable advance of an avalanche. Civilian ships loaded with nuclear warheads flew alongside military vessels. Asteroid miners turned their industrial cutting beams into weapons. Even luxury yachts had been fitted with missile racks. Admiral Chen's voice returned. You came here expecting us to beg, to negotiate, to surrender our freedom for the privilege of continued existence. The transmission paused, and when it resumed, there was something like grim amusement in her tone. We have a saying on Earth, speak softly and carry a big stick. You've forced us to put down the soft words. The human fleet reached optimal firing range. 8,000 ships, their weapons trained on the hegemony force. Last chance, Admiral Chen transmitted. Leave our system now. Zexathara looked at her tactical display at the overwhelming force arrayed against them. 300 of the galaxy's most advanced warships against 8,000 crude but determined human vessels. The mathematics were undeniable. For the first time in the hegemony's expansion, it was their fleet that began powering down weapons and reversing course. As they retreated toward the hyperspace jump point, Zexathara received one final transmission from Earth. Not words, but music. The humans were broadcasting their response across every frequency. The sound of hammers on steel, of factories at work, of a species that had answered the call to war not with words, but with action. They had demanded surrender. Humanity had answered with silence and steel. And the galaxy would never be the same.